Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and we're doing another complete fix and flip video here. We show the before video, the after video, the numbers, and all kinds of other information. So I just want to start real quick and show you how we first bought this property. First, of course, make sure you check out investformore.com. Have tons of articles on flipping, rentals, being an agent, all kinds of other cool stuff. I've got 6 books on Amazon if you're interested in learning more about being an agent, negotiating, flips, rentals, all kinds of other good stuff. So be sure to check those out. And of course, we appreciate all comments and thumbs up. So try to respond to all of those personally. All right, this was a house I bought from the MLS, which you can see right here. Not shy about showing the address or where it was. The house was listed for $183,900. As you can see, it's a cool old 2-story, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. Has a nice big detached shop as well, and it was priced very well. A lot of people see this price and say, oh, that's crazy. Well, this was a discounted price. It's really hard to find anything in Greeley, in our area, under $200,000, and that includes 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 800 square foot ranches. So this was a really good deal, although it was about a year ago when we bought it. Came on the market. I made an offer right away. I think my offer was around $165. They countered me at $178. And I decided to go for it. I knew this house might not be a huge moneymaker because it needed a lot of work, but I thought it would be really cool. So I let my emotions guide me on this one. If someone's doing their first flip or is not in a good financial position, I would urge against making purchases like this. I knew I could handle it. I could do it. I might not make a ton of money, but it would be cool in the process. So I can show you a few of the pictures. The house had been somewhat rehabbed. Oh, and this golf cart, I bought this golf cart for $50. It disappeared. So I think someone stole it. Either someone stole it or I told someone they could have it and I completely forgot about it. But anyway, it was like a 1967 Harley Davidson golf cart. It didn't run, but I bought it for $50. That'd be cool. And then someone stole it. So that's annoying. But anyway, here are some pictures of the home. Lots of original wood trim. The kitchen had been redone, but had been taken out because a pipe burst. So you can see that in the video we'll show you, just showing you some quick stuff. So definitely a lot of work, really cool pocket doors, cool windows, lots of neat original features. We tried to keep a lot of it, couldn't keep everything, but definitely tried to keep as much as we could. Here's the basement where a lot of it was flooded, had to be redone. Oh, clawfoot tubs. Everyone tells me I have to keep my clawfoot tubs. And I don't know if people understand that most of them are not in good shape, really hard to work with, and you can buy used clawfoot tubs for $200 or $300. So they're not quite as awesome and as amazing as many people think they are. Maybe if you find really cool ones, original ones, in great shape they are, but a lot of the ones we have are old, rusting, not in good shape, and that's why we don't keep them. All right, so when I was looking at this house, a few things I want to point out. Just, when the first words are fixer-upper, that just screams to me that I need to look at this house and possibly go buy it. I am a real estate agent, real estate broker now, own my own company. But I went and saw this house the first day it was listed. And I think Nikki, my project manager, was gone, or it was a Friday, her day off. I made an offer right away. She kind of told me later on I was crazy to buy this house because it needed so much work. But again, I knew might not be the biggest money maker in the world. And then they countered me that same day. I think we got it under contract before any other offers came in. So one huge advantage to be an agent. But I say, seller's renovating, pipe broke upstairs. They tore out a bunch of stuff, but there's still a lot of damage in it. Sold as is. Great things to look for when you're an investor trying to get a good deal. So we ended up making an offer, got the property under contract, ended up buying it. And now I'll show you the video of what it looked like right after we bought the property. Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. I'm standing outside a new fix and flip I just bought today. This is an older house, as you can see, a 2-story that is really cool inside. Still has a bunch of the original wood trim windows. Neat house. So we'll walk through there and take a look at it, let you know the price, repairs, all of that. Before we get started, make sure you check out investformore.com for more information on my flips, rentals, all that good stuff. Just show you the neighborhood for right now. Actually, just bought another house on this street on Friday. So should have quite a few videos coming up. I'll go do a video of that one next. Bought another house today, but that one's gonna be occupied for a week after I bought it. And then buying 2 more houses on Wednesday of this week. 1 rental and another flip. So have lots of good content coming up soon. All right, so this house I paid $185,000 for from the MLS. Quite a bit of money, but this house should be worth, I would think, at least $275,000, hopefully more once we're all done with it. And you can see it's got some of the cool light fixtures, original windows, wood trim, really neat details. And the biggest question on this one is going to be, how far do we go? How much money do we spend on it? You know, you could easily spend so much money trying to restore this thing to perfect original condition, or we could, you know, do minimal repairs, or somewhere in between. So I think, you know, I definitely want to keep a bunch of the wood trim, the cool old features. Want to refinish the floors, have to paint, but then the question is, do you refinish all of the wood, or you just kind of leave it as it is? The kitchen has cabinets, I'll show you in a second here, that are okay but not great. You know, do you keep all those cabinets, or do you redo all of that? So usually it's kind of in between is the best option for flipping, but we'll see. Really neat old pocket doors, as you can see. So that was the living room. Has 9-foot ceilings, so that's nice. Here's, you know, huge dining room, bay window. You know, you could come through and replace all these windows, but at the same time, you know, I don't think they're gonna look as good. They'll be more energy efficient, but I just like the old windows. It's got the old glass. It's, you know, not perfect. I think we'll leave the windows. That'll save a ton of money right there. But in here in the kitchen, you'll see where a lot of work has to be done. Kind of see that wall too. They had water damage from upstairs that flooded, so they tore out, you can see the ceiling, walls. All these cabinets are not attached anymore, they're just kind of sitting there. And it has a hard surface Corian counter, but I'm not a huge fan of these. The sink is actually built into the counter. So we'll see. You know, these are the questions. Not the most amazing cabinets ever, but is it worth replacing them and spending a bunch of money on new ones? We'll figure that out here, hopefully. But definitely, you know, have to do some updates to the electrical, some of the plumbing, have to replace, you know, the walls, the drywall, and the floors. One thing, this house has no bathroom on the main floor, so I think we're gonna try and stick a half bath kind of right in there, see if we can fit one in there. Again, that's something to consider if it's worth it or not, but I think we're gonna end up doing it. And all the bedrooms are upstairs, so we'll take a look up here. As you can see, some of the old plumbing right there, galvanized pipes. Has carpet, but as I'll show you, there's hardwood pretty much under all of it. And they did some custom work here. Opened up the attic, put in skylights, vaulted ceilings. So you can see that skylight needs some work, but pretty neat house. You know, they really opened it up. Kind of put some trim that's newer, not matching, but not the end of the world. 3 bedrooms up, 1 bathroom up here. So the other bedrooms, really big rooms. There's the tub and the bathroom that should be in here. Like I said, they had a pipe break, and yeah, have to redo the bathroom completely, as you see. But even it's vaulted and has a skylight. And up there, that does not go for the stairs. That's just storage up there. There is, you know, it's not an open bathroom concept. And here's the 3rd bedroom, the green room. The only place where they painted the trim, I think we'll just kind of leave the trim painted, maybe paint it white, but not, I don't think we want to go to the work of peeling all that paint off to expose the original trim. That's the upstairs. We'll go back down to the basement. So they had water damage down here as well. They just kind of textured the foundation wall right there, which usually doesn't work out very well. Here's the bathroom down here. Just you can see they had water damage down here too. So we'll have to replace all that sheetrock fixtures. The toilet stuck back there. Then it kind of wind around the laundry room. I think the washer and dryer go back there, but they've got them stuck here in the middle. Furnace, hot water heater, newer heating system, which is nice. You know, we don't have to replace that whole thing. These old houses, that can be a huge expense. And here is kind of a bedroom, really small. This is probably 6 by 10, maybe 7. So our thought is we're gonna take half of this big room right here, make it a bedroom, and just make that the closet for this bedroom. So we'll have a nice big room down here and still plenty of room for a family room too. So it'll be a 4-bedroom, at least 2 bath, maybe 3 bath if we add that half bathroom up. And we'll show you out back too, because another nice feature of this house is what is now a shop, but it could be a pretty nice garage. Here's the backyard, which is in decent shape. The garage and shed. Before we go back there, I'll show you some huge trees. Those are some of the biggest trees I've ever had at a house, but they're in pretty decent shape. Just gigantic though. So it has a little shed there, kind of a shop here that used to be a garage. They closed it all off. And one of the bonuses of this property is I bought this little Harley Davidson golf cart for $75. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. Not sure how well it runs, but the seller really didn't want it, and so now I've got that. I'll have to have it checked out. It's not in the best condition. We'll see. All right, here's the shop, which they finished off. It's big though. It's room for 3 cars in here if you really wanted to. They put a loft in, a little office back here. Ideally, what I would do is rip out the office, rip out the flooring, put in 3 garage doors, make it a 3-car garage. But again, I don't know if that's cost effective. What I might do is maybe rip out the flooring, put 1 garage door in, and then let whoever buys it decide, hey, do I want to, you know, put the rest of the garage doors in? Do I want to leave it at the shop and office? Let them figure it out. All right, so that's the property. Appreciate you watching the video. We'll have some updates on it as we get started. I have 17 flips again. So staying busy. It will take a little while before we get a contractor available to work on this property. So hopefully we get that done soon, but it could be a month or 2 before we get started on it. And I'm excited to see how this one turns out. Hopefully, you know, we're spending in the $30,000 to $40,000 range to fix it up. That's probably if we do kind of the basic fix up. If we go all out, we're probably looking at $50,000 plus. I just don't know if that's worth it. So I had a contractor who we had used on multiple projects, signed up to do this one. I'm not a huge fan of the way we pay him. We pay him weekly. He has like 5 guys on his crew, and he will estimate how long it will take, how many weeks to do it, so we get an estimate of what the job will cost. So we knew this would be a really expensive job. We knew there'd be a lot of unknowns come up because it's such an old house, because we're trying to save wood trim, we're trying to make it look mostly original, but still have, you know, good electric, good plumbing, good furnace, all of that. So I figured the cost to rehab would be much less than it ended up being. But in the end, it still made a little bit of money, made $30,000 on it, and it turned out okay. But could have been much better had we done the bidding a little better and sold it for more, which we almost did. But now you can check out the midway through the flip while we're working on the house. And you can see the progress we've made and what it looks like while everything is going on. Staying outside one of my fix and flips we've been working on for a couple months. Had a lot of requests from people asking about this one, if it's done yet. The answer is no, it's not. It needs a lot of work. But I have the before video. If you check out the description, I'll post that. I can't remember what we bought this for, 150 or 160,000, I think. We're doing a lot of work in it, and we've made a lot of progress. So as you can see, they've been painting. We kept a lot of the original trim, all of that, original windows. We've got a lot of work going on here. It's a dining room, living room. I'll show you guys the kitchen, new subfloor, new drywall. Redid all the electrical, redid all the plumbing, and then they're laying tile right now, as you can see. So hopefully that'll get done here soon. We'll head upstairs. This is a big project. A lot of work, but I think it's moving around pretty decent. Here's one of the upstairs bedrooms. Had to patch up those skylights that were leaking, fix those, do a lot of texture work. Then we are going to refinish all these floors so they're all covered up. Whoops, knocking stuff over. Here's the bathroom, which was completely gutted when we got it. You can see rough and plumbing's in, rough and electrical. Got the tub, and then the toilet will be there. A little closet. Here's another bedroom up here. We're probably going to spend at least $50,000, probably closer to $60,000, maybe even more on this one. Hopefully, I'm thinking it's worth at least $300,000 when we're done. I said we're spending a lot. It's really hoping to turn the back garage into a second unit, which I'll talk about here soon, but looks like we won't be able to do that. All right, we'll head downstairs where a bunch of work has been done as well. Besides all new electrical, basically all new plumbing. Also had to redo most of the heating vents. As you can see, this bathroom we're completely redoing. New tub, tile will go in, new vanity there, toilet over there. Really weird bathroom, but I mean, there's really no other way to configure it. Here's the laundry room. It'll stay basically the same, but some new texture drywall. Furnace, hot water heater. So almost all the venting was redone to be more efficient, work better, and there are a ton of holes in the floors and stuff that we patched from old vents. And before, this was kind of a bedroom, it is now a closet, because this is our new bedroom right here. So added that wall, fixed a lot of this drywall too. It was cut off 1 or 2 feet down because of water damage. So that's all been fixed. Remember before, there were kind of 2 stoves here. We're gonna keep that one, I think, keep that little brick right there, but reconfigured that to look a lot better as well. So here's kind of the family room downstairs. And then we'll walk out back here real fast too. But on this house, definitely trying to keep a lot of the original features. Doors, trim, windows, lights, a lot of those will all be saved as much as we can. Maybe even some of the light switches, we'll see. So if you look at my original video, we have this building back here, and it's kind of just a garage that was turned into like a workshop, and I don't have the key to it with me. I forgot it, but you can look in the first video to see what it looks like inside. Just an open room with a little loft in it. But Nikki, my project manager, had the brilliant idea to turn this into a second unit, because this property is zoned for multifamily. You can have, I think, up to 4 units on it. So you can put a unit in the basement if you want to, and make this into a second unit or a third unit, which I think would have added a ton of value. Make a little 1 bedroom, a kitchen, put a bath in there. We would have had to bring water over and sewer, which would be expensive. But I mean, I could add $80,000 in value to the property. So I was pretty excited, pumped about that, until we talked to the city. And it turns out it's too close to the alley. The setbacks aren't far enough for it to be a living unit, so we couldn't do it. So it will become a garage again, probably. We'll paint it, put some garage doors on it. People can leave it as a workshop if they want, or I think, you know, a lot of people want a garage, they can use it as a garage too. So that's the plan for now. I think that's all I've got to say about this property. Put a new roof on it too. New paint was already done, but we still got to do some touch-ups, fix that up. It's not perfect. Hopefully we'll be done here in a month or two, and get it sold. All right, so there's the midway video. Still a lot of work to do. This house took a really long time to finish, because this contracting crew also does other stuff for us. If we have random things that need done, sometimes they work with some of our rental properties, they do other stuff, so not always constantly working on one job at a time, and that makes it really tough to figure exactly what their costs are too, because for half the week they might be working another property, and we don't always divvy the exact amount of work that goes into the one project. But we kept working on it, and after going through the roof, electrical, plumbing, HVAC wasn't as bad as it could have been, but we did a lot of work there, flooring, all of that stuff. Then the final product looked like this. Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. I'm standing outside a fix and flip we just finished. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this one. It's an old 1918 4-square 2-story that we fixed up, tried to restore as much as we could, and it's finally done. Took like 3 months longer than we thought it would. Was a lot more expensive than we thought it would be. I kind of knew there might be problems with this house when I bought it. I will admit it was a bit of an emotional purchase, because I thought the house was cool. I'd never restored one like this before, and I had it in the back of my mind that it might not make a ton of money just because of that, so it wasn't a huge surprise to tally up the final bills on it. Hopefully we'll still make a little money on it, but really hard to value this house because of its uniqueness. It is on a slightly busy street as well, which doesn't help it, but I think we'll still be okay on it. I bought the house for $178,000. We spent like $80,000 on this rehab. $17,000 that was just on the roof, because it's such a steep pitch roof and it was in such bad shape. Plus it's got a big workshop out back that needed a roof. Had to spend a lot of money on electrical, plumbing, floors, trim, all that, which we'll show you. So, of course, check out investformore.com for information on my podcast, videos, all that good stuff, and we'll show you the house. House is already yellow, but we repainted all the trim white. It was like a light blue before. And of course, you can see the before video, and I also did an in-progress video that I will link to in the description, so be sure to check those out. You can also look at my before and after playlist on YouTube that shows the before and after videos next to each other on just about every flip I do. All right, so here is the entry. Whoops. So, original staircase, we redid all the wood stain, kept the original windows, did not keep the entryway light, but we did keep a few of the lights in here. And you can see these floors were a mess. If you look at the before video, we weren't sure we get to keep them, but the hardwood guy spent, literally a couple weeks on these floors trying to get them to look okay. That's one of the original lights, which I know Nikki hates and thinks is hideous, but I think it's cool. And it was actually an original gas light that was converted to electric. So when they took the light down, the gas pipe is still in the ceiling where they ran gas for all the electrical. That was pretty cool. All right. You can see a lot of texturing. Drywall work was done here as well. One of the cool features of the house are the old pocket doors. So that's the living room. The dining room with the bay window. Another one of the original gas lights there. And these floors had missing boards, rotten boards, so we had to replace some of those and try and make them look somewhat close to the original ones. The kitchen is all modern. It actually had these cabinets in it before. And I know some people thought it was kind of crazy to try and save the cabinets, but when they saw the final bill, they realized why you need to save money anywhere you can. But we put in new appliances, granite counters, subway backsplash. Then yeah, all the lights are redone in here. Had to put up new drywall in this kitchen, most of it as well. And we'll go downstairs first and I'll show you upstairs. All right, so this was just one big room before, and we added another bedroom down here, put that wall up. Had to do drywall and sheetrock work down here too. Had two stoves. We kept one of them. The other one's actually in the shop in back. And here is the other bedroom in the basement. Nice to have a house this old that has a usable basement. Most of them are low ceiling, small. Oh, that furnace sounds horrible. We have to get that checked out. Oh, that's the closet for this bedroom. So I mean, technically we could have made that a bedroom, but then you'd be walking through the furnace room to get to it, and it's really small, so we just made it a closet. All right, bathroom down here, new tile, tub. That's not my favorite vanity, but we got a bunch of those at Home Depot for super cheap because they're on clearance, and it's a basement bathroom, so we didn't have to make it super incredible. Oh, that's so loud. So that goes back to that other closet there. Furnace, hot water heater. We had that furnace checked out, but obviously we'll have to get it checked out again as it's very noisy. All right. We'll head upstairs. The hardwood guy was really worried that we wouldn't like the stairs because they're not perfect, but I like them like that. It shows how old they are and that they aren't perfect. So redid all the wood floors up here as well. We still need to replace the glass in that window, waiting on that. Painted everything. This room already had the ceiling opened up with skylights. So try to keep original doors, the original hardware on the doors. This bedroom was already painted. The trim was it green? So this is just too much work to try and restore that wood, so we just painted it white in this room. And the bathroom up here, Redid that. It has a crazy vaulted ceiling as well. Not sure how much I dig this tile. I don't know if it fits the house very well, but that's what it has. All right. And then we'll go out back. And I'll show you up there. All right. So they're cutting down the neighbor's tree right now, so hopefully it's not too noisy. You can see them up there. Not a job I would ever want. We had this garage workshop back here, so we painted all of this as well. I probably forgot to unlock this, but we thought about making this a second unit, just a studio apartment. The property's actually zoned for it. We could have another unit back here, except for the setback. We talked to the city, and this building is too close to the alley right there. So we could not do the second unit, but it does have a workshop in there. Someone could easily turn it back into a garage as well. And like I said, we painted the outside, had to put the roof on it, just cleaned that out in there. Had my keys, I'd show it to you, but I forgot them, sorry. And that's it, that's the house. Okay, here you can see the house after it was all repaired. Had it listed. Some of our pictures. And we listed it at $338,900, which I know may seem crazy to many of you, but the median price in Greeley right now is $310,000, and we actually had it under contract for a while. Took a long time to sell this property, so I can kind of show you the history of what happened. I'll scroll down here a little bit. This is when I bought it, 8/21/2017. Took us probably 2 months before we started working on it, just because we have up to 20 flips going at one time. We don't have contractors available on every house all the time, so it takes us a while to get started. The work was finished, mid-March. We got it cleaned, touch-up items, things like that. Had it listed on March 29th. We only had it listed for 8 days because this is right when I started my new office, Blue Steel Real Estate. So I was essentially kicked out of my old office on April 6th and ended up starting my own office. So we pulled the listing from there and then relisted it a week later at the new office. And we had an offer about a month after it was listed that was, $330 in that price range. They loved the house, wanted the house, and actually we had someone else submit an offer almost at the exact same time for lower, and these people end up, putting their offer in. Then, was it 3 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later, they lost their job or something happened. They couldn't qualify for the loan and it fell apart. So that was very frustrating. We had a really good price on it. They lost their job, fell apart. Every time a house goes under contract, falls apart, comes back on the market, it seems like you get less money. It's much better to market a house as a brand new listing than as a house that was under contract and falls apart. People wonder what happened. Was it something wrong with the house? Why did it fall apart? And it just doesn't get us much exposure. So then we actually pulled it again because it was listed with an agent in my office who was fairly new. But Justin, who lists most of my houses, moved over to my office during this time. So we pulled it from there, relisted it with Justin, and we could not get any more offers. Even though we had those 2 offers right in the same time period, we went almost 2 more months without an offer. So lowered the price. I like to lower the price about every 3 weeks if we don't get an offer. And then we finally got an offer July for $310,000. Accepted it, went through the inspection process, which was fairly decent, a few minor things to fix. It appraised fine, and we closed on 8/24. So owned this property over a year. Part of that was just the repair process took a long time, but it also took a very long time to sell. I mean, from the time it was fixed, done in March, it was until August that we actually sold it. So when you're flipping houses, that's something to consider. They don't always sell right away. Sometimes you run into problems. Sometimes you have issues, and you have to plan for that, especially when you're trying to sell a unique property like this. If this was, a cookie cutter, 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch built in the 1990s, we could have sold it in a month, no problem. But you need a very specific buyer for this type of property. And whenever you have unique houses, even if they're really cool, that doesn't mean people want to live in them. They might want to see them, they might want to visit them, but buying one is a completely different story, and you have to be prepared for them to be on the market longer. And I knew that buying it. I knew we're going to make a cool house, it's going to be neat, but we'd be spending more money on it, and it might take a while to sell because it's so unique. So we did get it sold. Took a while longer than we thought. Wasn't the smoothest, easiest process, but we got it done. We did make money, and I'm going to talk about all the numbers next. All right, so here are the numbers on this property. And it's funny, the last complete fix and flip video I did on the yellow house, I actually had the selling price wrong, so my numbers were off on that one. I said I sold it for $207.9 in the video. We actually sold it for $215. So I made $7,100 more than my final numbers were in that video. Sorry about that, but sometimes I make mistakes like that when I'm doing a lot of different projects. Anyway, on this property, list price was $183, purchase price $178, and this house was listed as a 4-square 2-story, and I could be completely wrong on that. A few people have pointed out in the comments it's not a 4-square. I was just told it was a 4-square. I'm not an architect, so I defer to you guys if I'm wrong. That was just what I was told. So anyway, I got a loan from my bank, so 25% down, about 5.5% interest rate, 1% origination fee, and that makes my loan $133.5. So that's one nice thing about holding this property so long is I chose the right financing for it. Instead of private money or hard money, we had a bank loan, which is lower interest, put more money down, but a lot lower financing costs. All right, for the repairs, we spent a lot more than we thought we would. Took a very long time. And the way I pay my contractor on this one, I really don't like doing. I'm trying to fix that and change it. I really like the contractor. I think he does good work. He works hard. But by paying him weekly, he has no real motivation to get things done as fast as he could. And we're also doing other projects at the same time, which makes it confusing. So I'm really trying to work on getting specific amounts per project so that we're all clear in the very beginning of what it will cost. But we spent about $1,500 on the heating, $2,500 plumbing, around $8,000 on electrical. Had to do a lot of wiring in this house. The roof was much more expensive than we thought it would be, just the peak, and it was in really bad shape. Had to replace a lot of the decking and different stuff on that. And then just the general repairs, floors, paint, fixtures, finishing the basement, all kinds of stuff that had to be done. The outside. So there's a lot of work in there. And I don't have it all, separate out on exactly what the costs were. We just kind of get general numbers from our contractors on this stuff, at least on this particular contractor. So we ended up spending a little over $80,000 on all the repairs. Adds up very quickly. Financing costs, interest was about $7,400. So my payments were about $612 times 12 months, just a little over 12 months. So I rounded up. Loan costs, like I said, the origination fee plus a few other costs, loans for cert. So about $9,200 total financing costs. Carrying costs, so while I'm owning this property, I have to pay these, which a lot of the flip shows, of course, won't ever show you, or a lot of other investors. Some do, but not all. I have to pay for utilities while I have this property. Electric, gas, water, all that. I have to pay property taxes while I own it. I have to pay for insurance while I have the property. My bank requires me to have insurance, and insurance on flips is more expensive than regular houses. And then maintenance. We have to have someone mowing the lawn. If there's snow, we have to have someone to come shovel the snow. There's different things you have to do while you own the property. All right, then coming down here, selling and buying costs. We had real estate commission we had to pay when we sold the house. So that was 3% of the 310. But I made a real estate commission when I bought the house. Since I'm an agent, I get a commission back. So that helped offset that cost. Then closing costs to buy and sell, closing fee to the title company, recording fees, some other minor costs, about $1,000. So about $5,000 total selling and buying costs. And we come down here, get the total cost for everything, repairs, financing, carrying, selling, and buying, just over $100,000 for all these costs. So I had obviously a lot of money invested in this property when you count the down payment and repairs and all of these costs. End up selling the house for $310,000. Costs were $100,000, like I said. Purchase price $178,000. So our total profit was about $31,670 on this property. For a house that I have $100,000 of costs in, I would like a much larger profit than that, just because of the work, the time it takes, and the risk. And like I said, if we would have sold it for $330,000, we would have made about $50,000. I would have been super happy to make $50,000 on that house. But $30,000's, still good. I'm not complaining, but definitely would like it to be higher. And you can kind of see why we want such a huge margin on our house flips, especially on properties like this that will take a long time, a lot of work, because we think it will sell for $330,000. And we even had a contract at $330,000. However, it fell apart, and we ended up selling it for $310,000. Things like that happen. That's $20,000 difference. You don't always know when that's going to happen and what property is going to happen. It took us 5 months to sell this house from the time it's listed. That very rarely happens. It happens once in a while, but it's rare. And that just adds more carrying costs, more financing costs. Expenses just go up more and more and more the longer you own a home. So you have to be prepared and have big profit margins when you're doing these flips. And sometimes they sell fast and you make much more money. You make $60,000 on a cheaper house, which has happened. Or you have a more expensive house like this and you make $30,000. Or you have a house where you only make $15,000, which I think was my last complete fix and flip, if I fix the numbers for the correct selling price. So that's the property. It's still fun, cool process. I hope that people really enjoy it who bought it. Don't think I'll be doing one like that again anytime soon, but much easier to do the lower priced, easier remodel houses, and much better use of our time as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Please leave a comment if you have any questions and concerns. We try to respond to those. And subscribe if you'd like to see more of these. We'll have more before flip videos coming, more after flip videos coming, and more complete videos coming too. So we sold 4 flips in the last week and a half. So I'll have more of these coming up soon as well. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody enjoyed it.